Hello, boys and girls. I got a story to read to you tonight, too. I told you a story about Pee Wee and Elmo, but I'm going to read this one, and the name of it is Rumplestiltskin. And it's an old story. It was a story long before, when I was a little girl. Had been a story for a long time already, so it's kind of an old story, but it's still a fun story, and I hope you like it. And this little man's name is Rumplestiltskin. There was once a poor miller who loved to boast. Now this miller had a beautiful daughter, and it happened one day that he spoke to the king. He lied, saying, "Sire, I have a daughter who can spin gold out of straw." The king said, "Bring this clever girl to the castle tomorrow, so that I might see this miracle for myself." She arrived the next day, and the king took her to a room full of straw and said, "If by first morning's light you have not spun this straw into gold, you shall surely die." The poor girl sat and began to sob, for she didn't have the least idea how to spin straw into gold. All at once there appeared a little man who said, "Do not weep, my child, for I can spin straw into gold. But if I do, what will you give me in return?" "I will give you my necklace," she said, smiling. Taking the necklace, he sat down to his work. He worked all night at the spinning wheel, and to the girl's amazement and delight, he indeed spun straw into gold. Just before morning he finished his magical work. With all the straw now spun into gold, he bid the girl good day and left. When the king returned that morning, he was delighted by the sight of the room full of gold, but he was not yet satisfied. He took the girl to a still larger room full of straw and said, "If you value your life, spin this straw into gold by morning's first light, or you shall die." After the king left, she began to weep, but again the little man appeared. "What will you give me if I spin the straw into gold for you?" he asked. "I will give you the ring off my finger." The little man agreed, and taking the ring, sat down and spun all the straw into gold. The king was amazed to find another room full of gold. He took her quickly to a huge room full of straw and said, "This last room of straw you must spin into gold in one night, but if you do, you shall be my queen and rule the whole kingdom by my side." When she was alone, the little man came again to her, saying, "If I spin the straw into gold, what will you give to me?" "I have nothing left that I can give." "Well then, you must promise me your first child if you become queen." "If you will promise me that, I will spin the straw into gold." The girl thought it a silly demand and decided to promise the little man what he wanted, knowing full well she would never keep such a promise. The little man was satisfied, though, and spun the straw into gold. The king did keep his promise and married the miller's daughter at once, and she became the queen. When a year had passed, a daughter was born. The queen had forgotten all about her promise to the little man, but he appeared one day before her at the castle. "I have come for the child. Give her to me as you promised." The queen began to weep and moan, so that the little man finally said, "I will give you 3 days, and if you can tell me my name within that time, you can keep the child." Then he left. When he came the next day, she tried every name she could think of, but every time he replied, "No, no, no, that's not my name. You now have 2 days to guess my name." The queen sent her servants throughout the kingdom to find out who the little man was, but no one seemed to know him. "No, no, no, that's not my name. You have but 1 day for this guessing game." The 3rd day a servant returned, saying, "I found a little man last night singing by a fire deep in the woods. He sang, 'Today I bake and brew my beer. Tomorrow I bring the queen's child here. Oh, lucky for me, not a soul does know that Rumplestiltskin is my name. Ho, ho, ho.'" The queen cried with joy upon hearing his name. The little man arrived soon after, and the queen politely asked, "Is your name Tom?" "No." "Is your name Harry?" "No." "Is it Joseph?" "No." And then with a little smile she said, "Is it by chance Rumplestiltskin?" "The devil told you that! The devil told you that!" he screamed. "Unfair! Unfair!" And in a rage he stamped one foot down, then the other, and then both feet, till he went right through the floor and disappeared underground forever. And that was the end of Rumpelstiltskin. Mean little guy. He was going to take her little baby, but she found out his name and saved her baby. And that's the end of Rumpelstiltskin. Good night.